all right, you guys. Stoked to have you guys on the Vipassana call tonight. I know, it's a kind of short notice call, but I appreciate for everyone for being on the call. We got actually quite a few people on the call for it being, like I said, announced this late in the night. But my name's Paul Ivacoli, 22 years old in Bozeman, Montana. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm going to tell you my quick story. I'm going to keep it short and simple. But I just wanted to validate you guys. I want you guys to know that, look at how far as a group that everyone's come. For those of you who are new to network marketing, who just joined with Vipassana, a lot of you guys are, have past experience, previous experience in other companies. And realistically, some of us were scared to do some calls. Some of us were scared to hop in front of a stage. Some of us were scared, to make a quick video. And, we've gone past a lot of those fears. I remember in the beginning when I started, I literally would go for like 15 takes simply to get a video that I liked. And it was funny because I hated seeing myself on camera. I hated seeing myself speak. And I swear, I was like, dude, this guy, on camera, I found absolutely horrible. But, I got comfortable. I got comfortable with that feeling. I got comfortable. Pretty soon Nick and I were doing, videos. We were doing videos a lot, actually. And, we got comfortable. It was one take at a time. But, a lot of you guys out there are going through those growth periods where you're sitting there, you're trying to do a video, you're trying to go and talk in front of people. You're kind of worried about what other people think about your situation or what you're going to share with them. And, for those of you guys who got past that, I want to say congratulations, because that's a huge step. If you're willing to do that, you're probably willing to do a lot of other things. But really quick, you guys, I'm going to tell you my quick story. I got started like 2 years ago. Like I said, for those of you guys who don't know, I got started a little over 2 years ago with Nick Anderson. Darren Fryer was actually a cross-line of mine in the company. And I remember I actually went out to Maui, and we were rolling around in his car he got from the company. He told me about another company, and I kind of joined him with that. And ever since then, we've been really building. I've always looked up to Darren as one of my mentors, one of my leaders. He's actually going to be on the call tonight. He's going to close the call out, you guys. But I want you guys to really think about, the process. I want you to think about that whole process. And then we're going to go into, the fundamentals of Vipassana. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mental game, and they're going to give you the other aspects in this field. But really quick, you guys, I want you to think about the process that it takes. Because for some of you on the call, you've been involved in network marketing longer than me. For some of you guys on the call, you literally got involved, this week. Point being, it's a process. You've got to learn to love the process. You've got to learn to understand that it's simply you accepting the fact that it's a growth period. That's all this is. You don't have to be better than anybody else. You don't have to outperform anybody else. You really have to understand that you just need to grow. And the more that you grow, the more that you become, the more that you're going to be able to hold on to and give. That's what I love about this whole growth, because the more that you gain, the more that you're going to be able to give. And there's no other way to get true sense of joy than to give. I remember hearing my mentor, Jim Rohn, said one time, true happiness is not held in what you get. True happiness is contained in what you become. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've become a lot more throughout this period of 2.5 years, but it took time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of, pain. It took a lot of growing in order for me to do it. And here's the thing, you guys. I think more than anything, it was seriously a mental game. Because as soon as you can get that mental game straight, you can get everything straight. Everything in your life. Anything can become easy if you get that mental game straight. And these other guys are going to talk to you more about those other, periods, those other things that we're going to talk about. But here's the thing, you guys. I want you to know that I'm here not to, go and press you guys. I'm not here to talk to you guys about a bunch of things that you can't use. I want to give you some real value here. I hope I can provide you with some real value, because the more value I give, all right, the more I hope to receive. And it goes the same way. The more that you give, the more that you'll receive. But it's not like I want to receive, and I can't give. Because I've noticed one thing about all of the top leaders in any single one company. And here it is, you guys. They're willing to give more than anybody else. Reading a book by Anthony Robbins, that was his real question in life. His question was, how can I find a way to give more than I ever possibly could? If I can just give to enough people, and I know all of you have heard that quote from Zig Ziglar. All right, if you give enough, if you help other people get what they want in life, you're going to get what you want. So that's the point, you guys. I want you to understand that it's more about giving, and you will automatically receive. But a lot of us have these mental, attitudes that are very negative. A lot of us have these mental beliefs that are very, very negative. They hold us back from so many things. Okay, and I was talking to a guy named Joseph Valenzuela down at GoPro. Guy's a top income earner in another company. And this is what he told me, because he was personally mentored by Jim Rohn for 2 years before he died. He told me a lot of success, actually most success, Once you've gotten to the point where enough to become successful, you don't even have to know too much. As long as you're continually growing, you're continually reading, and that's what I love about Vipassana so much. The fact that there's literally personal development involved in a game, dude. I'm obsessed with gaming, dude. Like I have gamed my whole life. I was always sitting there on my Game Boy playing Pokemon, leveling, characters up. Now I can really level up. I can level up to the point where I'm growing and growing as an individual through this game in Vipassana. But here's the point, you guys. He told me that a lot of people, it's not about gaining more than they've already got. A lot of people already have enough to succeed further than they ever have. It's just being willing to let go of some bad things. It's just willing to let go of some negative mental attitudes that have been holding you back. That's really it. It's a game of letting go too, you guys, giving and letting go. But the more that you perform these bad habits, the more that you're going to start to reinforce them. I mean, if you really think about it, it's kind of like lifting. It's kind of like a sport. I mean, I'm an avid skier. I played sports all through high school, and every single time I was doing something wrong, every time, during wrestling, I'd take a shot wrong, my coach would, whack me in the knee and tell me, hey, man, you got to get that right. You cannot do it the way you're doing it. Because even if it was comfortable for me, it was comfortable for me to do it the wrong way. I had to reinforce the right way to do it. But a lot of us keep doing the right or the wrong things in a different way, in the wrong way. And what happens is we reinforce that same, attitude, that same process. It's like lifting. If you're going to go and do squats, there's a very specific way to do it. You don't want to go injure yourself. You don't want to be leaning on your toes, falling forward. All of that way, you can really, really hurt yourself. And the more and more that you, start to do it, if you do it in a bad way, you start to reinforce that bad way that you're doing it. So it's the same with your thinking. Okay? It's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is, oh God, not another day. Oh man, I really don't want to go to work. You get up, you slouch around, you sit there for 15 minutes on your phone. All right? What do you think is going to happen? It's going to set a bad standard for your day. And all of a sudden, your day's going to go worse and worse and worse. Your shoulders are slouched. You look tired. You hate waking up to that alarm clock. What do you think is going to start to happen to your day? Guys, they say that the first 15 minutes of your day are the most, influential of your day. If you start them out well, usually the rest of your day is going to go well. If you start them out with a bad attitude, mostly you're going to have a bad attitude the rest of the day. But you're reinforcing that negative mental habit. Okay, and a lot of the times it's just laziness too. I want you guys to know that right now. If we're lazy about our thinking, most of the time, if you're lazy about your thinking, what's going to start to happen is you're going to start to notice that there's going to be weeds growing in your garden. And by that, I know a lot of you have heard Jim Rohn, but that's the truth. A lot of the times we're just lazy to go and pick them. We see it, it's happening. We're like, I'm not feeling it, man. I don't really want to do this personal development thing. It's hard. And here's the thing. It's easy to do, it's easy not to do. So if you're not reading 10 pages a day, I know it doesn't sound like much. I know it's not going to make the biggest difference in the world if you read 10 pages. But imagine if you read 10 pages every single day throughout the course of the year. Well, that's like 3,650 pages of life-transforming information. That's like 10, 12 really good books that could change your life. And all it takes is one idea. But that's simply that calls for laziness. Because it's easy to do and easy not to do. And a lot of times we just choose the easy not to do. And I want you guys to know that's just being lazy. So instead of, going about, having a negative mental attitude, start to reinforce the positive way to do things. And Vipassana, honestly, it's going to help us so, so much because for me, that was the biggest value that I was missing in my life. I've gone from company to company to company, and I've realized one thing. I was never truly passionate about, promoting a product or a service like this before. And the reason was because I didn't see enough value. I saw the real value in the person that I became. The real value was in who I was becoming in the process of doing network marketing. Because if I were to quit right now, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never quit on you guys, but if I were to quit network marketing right now, I could take those skills that I've learned, I could take all the knowledge from all those books I've read, okay, and I could be successful anywhere else. So I saw the real value in the personal development. But there was never anything like that out there that could actually make me feel like, well, I'm going to talk to this person about it. I might make a quick commission. They might quit. Who knows? But now I honestly can say that if I go and talk to someone about it, I'm not going to feel an ounce of doubt in my heart that maybe this person just might not get the value. Because I want to be a person who delivers value. I want to give. Okay, and I hope you guys on the call are like that too. But here's the solution, you guys. And I want you to understand that if you have some bad mental habits, the solution is simply to take, small daily actions every single time. And a quick story, Tiger Woods, a lot of you guys out there, you respect him, hate him. He was a pretty damn good golf player, still is. Okay. And here's the thing, Tiger Woods, he was the best for a simple reason. He was willing to let go of some bad reinforced habits in his golf swing that allowed him to become better and better and better. So he was basically at the top of his game. Like this guy was, and I know all of you guys on the call know who he is, but he was at the top of his game. And at the top of his game, he had this swing that was kind of off. It wasn't the way that, professional coaches would teach you how to swing. Yet he kept it all the way up until this point. And then one day he said, I've had it. I want to change my swing. I want to change my swing right now to do it the correct way. And most people called him crazy. Like, dude, this is going to kill your game. It's going to put a big old dent in your record. Like, you can't just go and, you're good enough as it is, man. You're going to do fine. And he told him, nope, I'm going to get rid of this bad habit that I have in my swing. And I'm going to start to reinforce. I'm going to completely rid of it. And that's what I was talking about, getting rid of things instead of, always gaining. Sometimes just letting go. But he was willing to let go of that bad habit and start to develop a new habit. And another thing that he had was a pretty cool, quality. After every single swing, he'd take a swing, whether or not, and it was in a tournament, whether or not it was a great swing or a bad swing. Say he just, hit it, went way off the green, straight into a tree. He only allowed himself, and this is what I believe allowed him to be so great, because most people, they just kill themselves mentally. After one, missed call, or after, one person telling them no, or after someone just, quitting on them, one of their top leaders, they just mope and groan and whine and cry and complain, and they go on and on and on in that, attitude, and just keeps going and going. And what happens is they lose sight of what really, what they really could have done. He only allows himself 7 steps. That's it. After his worst swing or his best one, doesn't matter. He allows him 7 steps to either get pissed off or be overly excited. But then after 7 steps, he stops that attitude. And he starts a new one. He says, this is the next swing. This is the next hole. I'm going to do just as good as I did the very first swing. And that's really it, you guys. So it's not like you have to go out there, you have to change the world, you have to change, it's not like all of a sudden, a bunch of freaking, stars are going to come through your head as soon as you think some great thought. But here's the point. Allow yourself a certain amount of time to celebrate and to whine and cry about something that happened. Maybe a leader left you, but don't allow that to keep going on and on and on. Instead, understand that all you need to do, there's a time for everything. And if you just allow yourself, a simple 10 minutes to cry about it and say, you know what, I'm going to gear up and I'm going to get going again, that's a positive mental attitude that you can reinforce. Okay? So the last thing, you guys, I want to talk about is clarity before I pass it off, because I know I don't want to keep this going too long. But before I pass it off, I want to talk about clarity. Okay? And I know a lot of things start with clarity, mental clarity, because most of the time our thoughts are clouded. They're foggy. I hang out with Nick a lot, and every time we drink, every single time we drink, he wakes up in the morning, I'm feeling fine. I usually just drink a bunch of water, have some pizza, whatever that night. I wake up fine, but he wakes up and he gets very cloudy. His thoughts get very foggy. And he's like, I just can't think straight, man. I shouldn't drink. And so maybe, for some of us, you can, handle your liquor, others can't. But here's the point. If you have cloudy thinking, if you have foggy thinking, you guys, you gotta start, allow yourself more alone time. I think a lot of us are scared of being alone. And I was very scared of it, because I didn't like, sitting there not having something to do. I didn't like not having music in the background. I didn't like not having some noise. But I'm going to tell you right now, for 26 minutes, this is what it requires of you. Most of us have never done this. 26 minutes of complete silence with ourselves. If you can talk to yourself for 26 minutes, and that's it, don't touch your phone. A lot of the times we're not even alone when we have our own phone, but here's the thing, you guys, it's all it requires, 26 minutes. If you can be alone for 26 minutes, you're going to start to, get a lot more clear in your thinking. But with that, you guys, I want to toss it off to Nick really quick. Nick is basically my mentor. A lot of you guys out there know who he is. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't honestly still be in the industry. I mean, he stuck it, through thin and thick with me. So with that, Nick, are you out there?
Awesome, Paul. I appreciate that, buddy, dude. And it's pretty crazy, man, going back to what you were talking about in the beginning, how, the biggest thing you can take away from this industry is personal growth. I think we all grow, as a person, definitely on, it's not what we get from the industry, it's what we become as a person. And I just want to share with you guys, a little bit of background of, how we all came together, myself, Darren, Brendan, Paul, and all of us, and, just my little background and experience, and kind of share some ideas and concepts with you guys that I've learned over the past few years. And then, Darren and Brendan are going to go in a little bit more and basically share with you guys how to approach people about this and how to kind of share this idea and how to share this concept. But, really quick, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name's Nick Anderson, 22 years old. out here in Boise, Idaho. Got started with the network marketing industry back in 2012, so a few years ago. And it was pretty crazy because the first company that I joined with was a health and nutrition company. And, we talk about the four quadrants, the mental, the physical, the social, and the financial. Now, this company was heavily centered around the physical aspect of it, health and nutrition products. So I was extremely excited. And just to tell you guys a quick story about how I got introduced to it, I was actually hanging out, and one of my good friends sent me a text message, very similar to how you guys are approached about it. He says, "Hey, man, I got a great way for us to make some money this summer." And right? For me, I was working a job at a hospital, so I was ready for a change. I needed something new. So I hopped on a call with him and a top income earner in that company. His name was actually Derek Alexander, and hopped on a call with him. And keep in mind, I had no idea what network marketing was. I didn't even know what Amway was. I didn't even have any experience with the industry. So I hopped on a call with him, and he started speaking at about 1,000,000 miles per minute. I could not understand a single thing he was saying. It was probably like one of the first 10 calls that he did because he'd been with the company for like a week, a month, somewhere around there. And I just heard him out on it. And honestly, I was pretty hooked right off the bat, because I was ready for a change in my life. And a lot of you out there, maybe it was a similar approach for you when you first heard about the industry. You were ready for a change. You were ready for something new. So you're open to opportunities. We talk a lot about keeping an open mind, right? So I had an open mind. And that night, I researched the company for about like 6 hours straight till like 6 a.m. because I realized if something caught my attention so quickly and I was going to dedicate the next several years to mastering the craft and mastering the art of the industry, it had to be legitimate. It had to be serious. So I researched and I found that network marketing, for those of you guys that maybe don't know too much about it out there, it's a $167 billion industry. It's the second highest paying profession out there behind professional athletics. It's higher than the NBA. It's higher than the NFL. It's higher than the video game industry. It's higher than Hollywood. It's crazy, guys. I saw that and I was like, you know what? If it's that big of an industry, why haven't I heard about it yet? Then I started to realize, obviously, it's word of mouth advertising spread the exact same way the way Facebook was marketed. So I thought to myself, this is absolutely genius. This company is everything. I'm going to make it to the top in this. So I got started. Long story short, you guys, I dropped out of school that same month. I actually had a talk with my parents, and it's a crazy story. I talked to my mom, and I asked her, I said, "Hey, Mom, who in our family is a millionaire in our family heritage?" And she said, "Not a single person." And I told her, I said, "You know what? I'm going to be the first one." And a lot of people out there might think, "Oh, he's just crazy, arrogant, all that stuff." I firmly believed that I would be, and it wasn't going to be for myself. It would be to leave a legacy behind. And not only do that, my biggest why is to be able to retire my parents. And it was crazy, you guys. This Christmas, I was actually able to give my mom $1,000 a month in residual income every single month to kind of take that burden, that stress off of her back of some bills that she has to pay. So it's amazing what this industry can do for people. And it's amazing what it can do not only for your life, but for the people around you. We talk a lot about the social aspect, you guys, being able to give back to other people, starting with the people closest to you. And that was the biggest reason why I got started with the industry. So I progressed through that company, built that business with Paul, became very close friends with him as well as a lot of other leaders. Darren Fryer, he was actually in a crossline, but just kind of saw some of his success on Facebook too. And after about like 14 months of being with that company, I traveled around. I met some amazing people, but I didn't make any money. I didn't make anything, so I wasn't supporting myself financially. I was struggling. I was trying to figure something out. I was introduced to another company, my previous business, which was very focused on the financial aspect of it. It was a financial wellness software company that was helping people save money and make money at the same time. So I built that business, did the same thing. I traveled, built the business for a while. I was out of school. I didn't have a job. So I was really doing it full time, just experience life because my biggest passion is traveling. Now, with that business, you guys definitely learned a lot from that. I made some good money with it to where I could support myself financially. I could live my dreams. I could pursue my passions. But the biggest problem was I didn't have any inner fulfillment. Money without fulfillment is ultimate failure, you guys. If you don't have an inner drive that's still pushing you other than money, then I feel like that's not true success. A lot of people out there, they want to earn more income. They want to, raise their salary. But at the same time, when they focus on all of that, then they achieve it. If they don't have the other areas of their life down and balanced, the mental aspect, the physical aspect, and the social aspect, then they're lacking in those areas. And just like, I was listening to the webinar that happened earlier today, and I love the example, I believe it was Trang he gave about the table, how there's 4 legs, right? And each leg represents, one of these aspects, and everything that we cherish, everything that we love is on top of the table. And if one of those legs is pulled out, the entire thing collapses, and we watch ourselves lose the things that we love, the things that we cherish. So with that being said, you guys, every single aspect of these plays a big role in your life. And I just kind of want to touch a little bit on the mental aspect, kind of piggybacking on some things that Paul said, because when I was introduced to Vipassana, it was amazing, you guys. Most companies out there, they're focused on two things. They're focused on having the best product out there, having the best compensation plan out there. And when I was talking with a bunch of different leaders and even some CEOs in different companies, they were saying, hey, you know what? Our compensation plan is the best one out there. We have the greatest product, the greatest health ingredients in it. We have the goji berries that were picked from mountains in this random strange place, right? So everyone out there hears these different company pitches, and the biggest problem with it, and I agree 100% with you, Darren, I felt like the industry was dying too, because it was turning into a sales job. People kind of felt like they had to push something on their friends and family to get people to buy something that they didn't want to buy anyway. So what I saw with Vipassana, and the reason why I loved it, was they're leading with the mental, they're leading with the social, and the physical and the financial is a byproduct of those two areas, because we all know that, that's what gets people to stay around, is the personal development. It's community. And Paul, what you were just talking about, how you loved the person that you grew in the process. Joe Dickinson was talking about that in one of his videos. And he was saying how every single person he talks to and asks, and I find this as well, you guys, every single person asks this question, what do you love most about the industry? People will either say the people that they meet, that they surround themselves with, or the person that they became in the process. People do love the physical products, the results that they get from it, but the reason why they stay is for those two aspects right there. So if Vipassana is focusing, they're leading with those, you guys, that's really what's going to create that tight community, that tight culture that we have already. And, it's only been a few days after the pre-launch. So over the next couple months, there's going to be some crazy things that's happening. But I just want to share with you guys one of the biggest takeaways I've taken away from this industry before I, pass this call off. And I know a lot of you have seen the movie The Secret, right? That's a pretty common movie for people that are just starting out in the industry. If you haven't seen it, just go on YouTube after the call tonight and type in The Secret. It's a movie that was made in 2006. Talks a lot about the law of attraction, how your thoughts create things, right? And, the biggest quote, I remember that, Bob Proctor says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Now, the biggest thing out there is a lot of people that have a vision of what they want their lives to look like. They have a vision of what their future looks like, but they're not holding it in their hands yet, right? Because thoughts create things, but action creates results. So if you're not taking action on the vision that you have set out for yourself, then it's going to take you a lot longer, and it's going to get you frustrated. So the mental aspect of Vipassana, you guys, the game, the 200 levels, that's really focusing on the key core principles that we need to learn inside of this industry to grow yourself, to grow your mindset. And then it's giving you a call to action at the end to go out there and take action on that idea, so you're actually applying it. Because like Darren says, knowledge isn't power. Only applied knowledge is power, right? So with that being said, you guys, one quick story. There's an interesting plant. It's called the Chinese bamboo plant. And a lot of you have heard this story before, but this really resonates with me. And I remember hearing this the first 2 months that I got started with my first business. And this plant, it's planted in the ground, right? And it's a very, very hard nut. Now, it needs to be watered on every single day, watered and fertilized every single day. And if you miss several days or weeks, the plant will die. Now, a farmer, he starts watering the plant, right? And for the first year, nothing grows. Now, for the second year, he waters it every single day. He has a strong vision, and he has a strong dream of what he's going to accomplish, what he's going to see when that plant starts to grow, right? Now, for the second year, nothing grows. He says, okay, that's interesting. Don't try. I have to trust the process. I don't rush the process, right? So he keeps watering it. The third year, nothing grows. Now, for the fourth year, he stays consistent. Waters. Nothing grows. Now, at this point, the average person would say, screw it. The plant's dead. The season's got a hold of it. Nothing's going to grow. Nothing's going to happen. Now, here's the crazy thing, you guys. In the fifth year, within 1 week, he sees a little sprout. Then that plant shoots up to over 90 feet in 6 weeks. Now, how is that possible? Did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks, or did it grow 90 feet in 5 years? What was it doing for the entire 4 years, 5 years before it started growing, you guys? Think about it. It was growing its roots. It was building its foundation. Now, a lot of people hop in this industry and they expect to make a lot of money, or they expect to get, a quick physical result from the product that they're taking right away. But there's no such thing as instant gratification. We live in a generation, it's called the microwave era, right? People want things right away because they have technology at their fingertips. They want to make money quickly. And when they hop on board with something that's promoted with the main aspect of the financial aspect, that's the main focus of it, people have false expectations of what they're going to be able to accomplish. Now, that plant right there was growing its roots for 5 whole years. So when it did grow, it can grow 35 inches in 24 hours. That's absolutely ridiculous. One of the quickest growing plants in the world. Because had built its foundation, it could withstand the storms, you guys. And the storms could be something as simple as the negative influences, the toxic dream stealers, the people in your life that are trying to talk you out of it. They're saying, this thing won't work. You won't make any money with that. You've been at it for how long? A year, 2 years? You're not a millionaire yet. You're not successful yet, you guys. It's pretty crazy seeing people out there, their different perspectives. And every single one of you on this call, I believe you have what it takes to become successful. Just remember that you have to plant thoughts of positivity, and you're going to grow trees of abundance in your life. But with that being said, you guys, I want to pass this call off to, my mentor in the business, one of my very, very good friends. Definitely want to come back out there to Hawaii, Dan, and, kick it with you, make some videos. Can't wait till you're in Utah to where we can do some skiing, lifestyle shots, and really work this thing out. But yeah, Darren, if you want to take it away from him, man, kind of share some thoughts, some inspiration with everyone on the call tonight.
Yeah, of course, Nick. Can you guys all hear me?
Yep, you're good, man.
Yep. Cool. Is Brendan still on, or does Brendan want to go,
Yep.
or do you want me to go on? Go for it, Brendan.
All right, for sure, guys. My name is Brendan T. My experience in network marketing only goes back about 15 months now. Definitely a crazy industry, that's for sure. Before I get into everything, what we got going on Vipassana, it's just really show you guys, everyone talks about results. Everyone talks about, what has it done for me? What can it do for you? And, people always focus on the financial. People focus on that type of stuff there. But people have to really look at what it can do for you mentally, physically, and socially above anything else. That's why Vipassana attracted me so well. Before my network marketing journey, I was 300 pounds. I worked 40, 60, 80 hours a week at a desk job. I was severely unhappy. I didn't have many friends, and I really thought I was above it all. Being at the age of 20, from 7 to 20, I was making very good income. I was making a lot. I was living at a great house in California. I had the cool cars, Mercedes, Jags, all that type of stuff. So to really open my mind to something like network marketing didn't really make sense to me. But what I noticed, my friend that introduced this to me, he was happy. He wasn't making all the money in the world, but he was happy. He was making a lot more friends. He was traveling. And the next thing I know, the money came later. So when I saw that, when I really saw it in person, when I saw it online, offline, all that kind of stuff, I really took a step back and went, you know what? I got to put my ego aside and really, do something different. That's what we were taught in our marketing. Do something different to get something different, because as we all know, the old way is really not working. My friends right now are graduating college next year. I'm 21 years old. They usually graduate 22, and they're in massive debt. They aren't very happy. They, are consumed by their studies, and they really don't know what's next. They're really reading a chapter of a book where the next 20 chapters are just missing because nobody knows what's coming. So when network marketing really jumps my life into what it is now, it took me 90 days to become a top 1% earner in the industry and in the company I was in, and that all came from what we're doing here, which is connecting with the right people, which is traveling, which is developing yourself to deserve that type of income, to serve everything that you're given to you. And when the company actually focuses on that, that's why Vipassana blew everything that I was looking at out of the water. Because what I was used to was creating my own culture, creating my own family, creating everything in line to really become the best I can be by creating all the training, creating everything that I need to do. But when Vipassana came along, I realized, holy crud, like everything is done for you. A lot of us spent, 50% to 80% of the time really sitting there training our teams, training what's going on, training the people what we did. But this thing that we got going on here, part of the product, part of the journey, part of everything is to get you ready for what's coming next. Nobody likes to go into life with blindfolders on. People want to go in with 20/20 vision and actually be prepared for what's coming. And the only way to do that is to be around the right group of people. That's why the social aspect is so important. There's a saying called law of association. You're the sixth person of 5 people you hang out with the most. That means you hang out with partiers, drunk people all the time. You're probably going to be a drunk partier. Hang out with successful, entrepreneurial, really motivated, want to change the world type of people. You're probably going to be that sixth person as well. And that's what really is so exciting about this than anything else? Imagine becoming a part of a fraternity slash sorority of badass entrepreneurs that want to change the world. And with everything else, actually teaches you everything about sales, about family, about networking, about everything that you need to become successful, and you're having a great time doing it. We already went over gamifying the experience, but we always went over, hey, you know, we got to set aside this much time to do personal development. We got to put aside this much time doing business. We got to do this much time doing all this boring stuff. But why do that when you don't have to? Our generation does not learn like the older generation. We don't like reading books. We don't like audios. We don't like going to seminars where older people are telling us, hey, look, you can be young, wealthy, retired when they're old, not quite wealthy, and not retired. That doesn't make sense. What does make sense is having a great time with your friends and family, honestly creating all these memories in the world so you don't have to die with memories. You don't have to die with dreams, you can die with memories. And next thing you know, you're 21, 22 years old after you started at 20, having all this success in the world and realizing, holy crap, I had a great time doing it. And that's what we got going on with everything here. And that's a society type of thing. So, Darren, want to take it away from there?
Yeah, for sure. 100%, man. Well, appreciate all you guys hopping on the call. You know, I just wanted to come on, share some nuggets, and close this off so we can all, you know, enjoy our Saturday nights, you know, either getting back on the grind or enjoying it with the fam and friends. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Darren. I'm 22 years old from Hawaii. I've been in network marketing for about 3 years, maybe a little bit over 3 years, but it really hasn't been that long. I've been in network marketing as long as I've been in college, and my experience is very simple. When I first came into MLM and I was a full-time college student, putting a lot of my time and focus, my energy towards formal education, I was learning a bunch of things that I wasn't able to apply into my life, which meant my life was the same, which was just something that I wasn't happy with. And when I saw network marketing, I didn't make any money my first half a year in it when I was in Vima, but I learned so much as a person about all the different laws that really equal your reality, such as the law of association. You're a direct reflection of the people you surround yourself with. So once I learned about that and I actually applied it into my life by surrounding myself with different people, which unfortunately for me in my college, everyone who was physically around me besides one or two people were not someone that I wanted to be around. I knew that they were toxic energy. They were all about escaping reality. They were all about, going out there partying and putting it off. And I wanted to take care of the situation right now. I wanted to own up and own responsibility and truly embrace my life rather than escape it. So I was able to really start to build up my network, my community through social media. And that's one of the most powerful things. That's one of the most powerful things in Vipassana is the social aspect. People are able to come in and surround themselves with people who are just like them or who are just like how they want to be. And that's just what I did in network marketing when I first started. And that's why throughout my entire experience of building these companies, the first one to 500 people and the second one to 4,000 people with the help of our entire leadership, it's just been crazy because I teach people things that are self-development related because I want to give them real value. I don't want to just teach them how to be a salesperson. I don't want to just teach them how to sell some product or service. I want to actually teach them how to be a better person. I want to teach them how to become fulfilled because money simply magnifies who you really are. So if you're an unhappy person, you get a lot of money, guess what? It's going to make you more unhappy than you've ever been. As surprising as that might sound, money reflects who you are. So unless you change who you are, the money isn't going to fix anything. Because most people out there who have way more money than us on the phone, they're most likely less happy than we are. And that's just another thing that I brought into my life that I always kept with me because I was raised in Hawaii where it's a little more simple out there. There's not as much traveling besides flying off the island and just a lot of outdoor nature and sports. Being able to make sure you're balancing your life. So that's just something that I've always done throughout my experience of building network marketing or just building my formal education background is that I always make time to really go out there and do the things that I love, do the things that make me feel alive. Because if I'm not doing something that I love on a constant basis, and that's a reflection of my energy, I'm not going to be as happy, as positive, as alive, as conscious as I should. So all of you guys on the phone, I'm not sure how many people are on this or who got invited to it, but you guys really need to take a step back and really define yourself. Who are you? What do you love to do? What do you stand for? What are your beliefs and what are your most important goals that you have in your life? There's so many people who have no idea where they're going, and that's why they don't go anywhere. So number one is to actually know where you're going and understand that energy is the currency of the universe. When you pay attention to something, you buy that experience. So when you allow your consciousness to focus on someone or something that annoys you, you feed it your energy, and it reciprocates the experience of being annoyed. So just make sure you guys are selective in your focus, because your attention feeds the energy of it and keeps it alive. And not just within you, but in the collective consciousness as well. It's your mindset is everything. Mindset is 80%, 90% of success. You know, as long as you're looking at things with the right attitude, everything will be fine, because the universe favors the optimist. And what I mean by that is life, what I learned through self-development that I apply that really has helped me is that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. Okay, we're all on a different, basically, path. We're all on a different wavelength. You know, we all have our own unique stories. We have our own unique struggles, our own unique backgrounds, and so do our parents and so on. So everyone goes through struggles. Everyone goes through ups and downs. But you guys need to realize that you can't control that. You have to control what you can control, which is your mindset, which is your attitude, right? You got to respond to situations. Don't just react. Okay, just because you're in a business, things are going well, and all of a sudden they go down, you can't just react to it and freak out and say, I give up, I'm over it, I'm getting a job. You got to respond to it. Everything happens for a reason, and all the struggles you guys deal with, you go through it for a reason, because it's making you prove to yourself that the reward is worth the pain. And that mindset is something that you have to really stay conscious about every single day, because everyone else out there in the world, 97% of this world, they're the opposite. They like to blame people. They like to escape their reality. They don't like to own up to their life. And we need to create a paradigm shift of people who simply have a better mindset towards, taking full responsibility over themselves and their life. We can't control what we can't control, so we can't dwell on that. We simply have to respond to life the best we can. When things happen, whether it's positive or negative, know that it's a stepping stone. Whether it's a learning experience or a growing experience, everything you guys are going through, you're going through it for a reason, because it's preparing you for the success that it's about to provide to you. And that's just so simple. I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible, but understand that this is truly so powerful. If the universe were to have to limit itself to what we believed is possible, very little would be. Everything is possible, guys, and it starts within your mind. It starts within your perception. It starts within your paradigm. How you perceive the world is the reality that you experience, and that's all it is. So as you guys learn concepts through the Art of Living game, as you guys focus on the growth and not the money will come to you, right? Because that is the most important part. Once you become a person of value, once you're able to actually teach other people these powerful concepts, once you're able to actually help someone else become successful, that's when you have wealth coming to you. But you can't feed other people and hydrate other people if your well is dry. That's why being selfish is being selfless, because you can't help anyone unless you properly help yourself. So just remember that. Being selfless is being selfish, and being selfish is being selfless, because the more personally developed you are, the more qualified you are to help someone else awaken their potential. Because that's all self-development is, guys. Just learning your purpose. Learning that you're not put on this planet to work for someone else, that you have the greatness within you. We all have 24 hours in a day. We can all be Steve Jobs. We can all be Bill Gates. We can all be these guys, right? It starts within our mind. It starts within our attitude. As these situations occur in our life, someone might get hurt. Something might happen with your credit card getting stolen. Something might happen with your car getting backed into. Everything happens for a reason, guys. And even though it's hard to really take that in, you just got to remember that you can only control what you can control. So respond to life the way that you want to, because as long as you're setting your sail in the right direction, the winds will change, but eventually you'll get to where you want to be. So you just really got to dial into yourself and stay focused, guys, and continue to grow from every experience that life throws at you, because at the end of the day, that's all our options are. The second you stop learning is the second you start the process of dying. And we should always be learning. And if you're learning, you're always positive. You're always optimistic. You always have positive energy out there that's going to attract more positive people, situations, circumstances, and events into your life, which by result will create the positive result that you want. So just wanted to really give you guys a quick little nugget that I really think about every day. One more thing that I've been doing that has honestly helped me tremendously is nutrition. It's like I honestly drink these kale spinach shakes with superfood like algae, wheatgrass, apple juice, mint every single day, and I feel like I'm on Adderall. You guys need to realize that you are what you eat. Every 90 to 120 days, every single cell in your body is shed, and it's replaced based off of the food that you eat and the water that you drink. So the food that you put in gives you energy to be able to put forth towards your business, towards growing yourself, everything. Everything is energy. So you need to make sure that food is fuel, not comfort. That simple concept really changed my life the past several months when one of my mentors, Anthony Burns, really drilled it in my head when I was living with him for a month. Food is fuel, not comfort. Remember that, guys. A majority of people in this world treat food like it's comfort. Food is fuel. So when you're looking at something, don't look at it because of the taste. Look at it because of the actual nutritional value, the electrons in the food that actually allow your body to stay alive. Okay, the more fuel you have, the more energy you have towards growing yourself, towards attracting, and manifesting your destiny. The more energy you have towards building your business and changing other people's lives. So just remember that. If you want to be a Ferrari, you're not going to put 87 fuel into the tank. You put 92 into it. And it makes the biggest difference ever in terms of your energy, your attitude, and just the amount of consciousness you have towards a situation. You're not just knocked out because of all this garbage we throw into our body and our food. Our body, when you fill your body with garbage, all of your blood has to go towards digesting that food, which means a lot of your blood doesn't go up to your brain to allow you to think clearly. So food is fuel, not comfort. It might sound very simple. It might be overlooked by a lot of people, but that's honestly really, really, really powerful to what's helped me see so much success. The energy that I've been able to put into my business the past year is a direct reflection to the food I've been able to eat and how I've treated my body. And that's why Vipassana is so beautiful, because it's everything I've ever stood for. It's not just one of these things. It's all of them. Your food, your nutrition, your health is very, very important. It's necessary. Your mindset, your self-development is necessary. The network you surround yourself with, the people you hang around with and associate with, that's so important, as well as making money. You need to have something that people will pay you for. And right now, self-development is a huge industry. And if you can go out there and start to inspire people to self-develop because you're self-developing yourself, that's the key to this. You don't need to think too hard. Just let the game teach you how to think. Let the self-development teach you how to think, because you are where you are and you are who you are because of what's gone into your mind. And by changing what goes into your mind, you can change who you are and where you are in your life. And it just takes a little bit of time and consistency, and you guys just got to make sure you believe. So with that, love you all. Thanks for setting this up, Nick and Paul. And you guys all crushed it. You too, Brendan. And I'm looking forward to the next training call. I got a lot of things I'm looking forward to really being able to share with everyone that's helped me get to where I am. But just a quick recap, guys. Respond, don't react. Food is fuel, not comfort. And always make sure, your attitude determines your altitude. So stay positive, and everything's a learning experience. And that's the foundation of the paradigm you guys should have when coming into this industry. And everything else that happens to you along the way, just respond to it the correct way, and you're going to slowly get closer and closer to where you want to be in life. So with that, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you all soon.
Loved it. Yeah.